Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here with another Extravagant Few Minutes live here on the Captain Lou Sports Network on YouTube and, of course, on our Facebook page, which is the Captain Lou Extravaganza, and on X at The Real Captain Lou. We invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the Captain Lou Sports Network. You get all of our great programming live and archived, our Extravagant Few Minutes episodes, the Extravaganza podcast with yours truly and my tag team partner, Mitch Bernstein. And, of course, the ACHA Power Play. Season 10 is going on very strong right now as the road to St. Louis 2026 is getting in high gear. The national championships coming up here in a couple of months. The sprint portion of that schedule coming up after the holidays. The Extravaganza will be back in 2026 after the holidays as well. We got a lot of great stuff planned for 2026 and can't wait to bring that to you as well. We're also powered by Belly Up Sports. We're excited to be back as a part of their team in 2026. And great things coming up. Can't wait to bring them to you. Today's Extravagant Few Minutes episode, as always, is brought to you by the official secondary market of the Captain Lou Sports Network, and that is SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. If you're in Detroit today and you want to take part in sports fans' dream, the Lions are playing at 4:25, but before that, at 1 o'clock at Little Caesars Arena, the Red Wings and the Capitals are going to be playing in a game, the second of two there. So you get a doubleheader within about a mile of each other. Tickets are available for both games. If you are there and you want to do that, go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off your purchase. All right. What a wild win last night for the Chicago Bears over the Green Bay Packers to take first place over in the NFC North, a stranglehold on it, if you will. Down 16-6, I have to confess, I fell asleep thinking that the Packers were going to hang on to win that one. The Bears kicked a field goal with 1:59 left to take it to 16-9. Then they recovered the onside kick, which I think the percentage of doing that now is 7%. They won that one. They got that one and went down and scored. And then that improbable overtime throw to DJ Moore. And the Bears are now 11-4. They've got destiny in their hands as far as winning the division. They win next week against San Francisco. They've got it clinched. So still a lot of wild scenarios for the NFC North, but the Bears are looking like they're in the catbird seat. They look like a good team. Got to give them credit, like we said last week. So the Lions, we'll talk about that in a moment. The Lions are the big game against Pittsburgh, but I want to get back now. Let's go shift gears real quick to college football. As yesterday, the remaining three games of the college football playoff were played. Started out with Miami taking on Texas A&M. They won an ugly game yesterday, but hey, that's all you got to do, right? 10-3, I think, was the final score in that one. They scored a touchdown with under 2 minutes to go. Both teams missed field goals. I know it was windy there and all that. The defenses played very, very well. But does Miami really scare you, as now they will take on Ohio State in the next round on the 31st of December? It's going to at the Orange Bowl, I believe. So that's going to be an interesting matchup there. And, of course, after the other games, now you're going to hear this. Notre Dame fans are going to be insufferable for the next 12 months after what happened yesterday. James Madison, yeah, they only came within 17 of Oregon. They scored a garbage time touchdown to cover the spread. Tulane and Ole Miss, that game wasn't close. Tulane self-destructed I don't know how many times. So, yeah, those group of five teams really weren't in it, as Oklahoma was up, 41-10 or something crazy like that. It was 34-6 at halftime, and they ran away with it. As we mentioned, a couple of garbage time touchdowns, and now you've got with Tulane, a no-show against Ole Miss. All we're going to hear now for the next year is Notre Dame saying we should have been in, Texas saying we should have been in. Well, as I've said all along, Notre Dame, you beat Miami, you go. You know, there's no special favors, at least this year. Starting next year, yeah, you'll have the special favors. So, but yeah, it was made for a very interesting day of college football yesterday. Not quite unexpected, as Ole Miss and Oregon were victorious in their games. The Miami game, I thought there'd be a little more scoring in that one. Not really surprised they went into Texas A&M and won. Texas A&M hasn't beaten anybody with a winning record at home. So Miami advances, Oregon advances, and of course Ole Miss advances. And then on Friday night, Oklahoma pretty much was gift wrapped a win over Alabama got gift wrapped a win from Oklahoma. How's that? And now it sets up for a question. Are any of these teams that won in the opening round legit contenders for the national championship? Let's take a look again. Alabama won. They were down 17-0. Oklahoma self-destructed in the second quarter. Alabama grabbed the momentum, and they won against Oklahoma now. Still hasn't won a college football playoff game. Then you've got Miami struggling to get to 10 points against Texas A&M. I know it was a road win, but do they have any chance of winning it? I think they're okay. The team that I would worry about the most really is Oregon, because Dante Moore put on a show. Now, I know it's James Madison, so that where you got to temper your excitement maybe a little bit. But yeah, are any of these teams really legit contenders for the national championship? That's going to be a question to keep in mind. So it sets up now this way. Here's the setting for the quarterfinals in the college football playoff. Friday night, it's going to be Ohio State taking on Miami. Ohio State, a 9.5-point favorite against Miami. Man, that's a lot of points. I don't know. I might lean towards Miami with the point spread in that one. And then at the Rose Bowl, it's going to be Indiana taking on Alabama. Whoever would have thought Indiana in a bowl game would be a 7-point favorite against Alabama? Man, that's going to be an interesting matchup there. Oregon is just a 1.5-point favorite over Texas Tech. That's the point spread I like the most. I really like Oregon's offense. Maybe tempering my enthusiasm a little bit, like I said, with the win over James Madison. And finally, in the nightcap on New Year's night in the Sugar Bowl, it's going to be Georgia with a 7-point spread over Ole Miss. Georgia's looking pretty strong. Again, can't really tell a whole lot from Ole Miss. I know they look pretty solid against Tulane, but again, it's Tulane. So there you go. That's the setup for the college football playoff, the quarterfinals. Didn't take a whole lot out of those. Not disappointed in any team. A little bit surprised with Texas A&M and Miami. I thought there'd be more points scored in that game. But Miami's defense, I think, is going to give Ohio State some fits. So we'll keep an eye on those games as well. All right, let's go back to the games today in the NFL. The Lions with a must-win game now against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Ford Field at 4:25. The Bears, with that stunning comeback win yesterday, have set themselves up pretty good in the division. They still have to go to San Francisco and win next week, and San Francisco's got a lot to play for. They still think they can get the number 1 overall seed. So if you're a Lions fan, obviously you got to take care of business. The Lions have got to win 3 straight. They did it earlier in the year, but they haven't been able to win 2 straight since. Now they got to win 3 straight to get in. That's basically it. Starts today at Detroit against the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have a lot to play for. They're currently tops in the AFC North at 8-6. So a lot at stake. Aaron Rodgers, probably his farewell meeting in Ford Field against the Lions. So that'll be an interesting matchup there. So again, the playoff scenario for the Lions, they have to win all 3 games at home today, and then they've got to win at Minnesota on Christmas Day, and then go to Chicago at Soldier Field the following Sunday to win that one. They also need some help. The Packers need to lose at least 1 more game next week at home against the Ravens, or the season finale at Minnesota against the Vikings, who have nothing to play for. Or they need the Bears to lose next week at San Francisco. And then, of course, they would have to beat the Bears at Chicago in the season finale, which something tells me is going to be flexed as that Sunday night game. So if they do that, if the Packers and the Bears both lose next weekend and the Lions win out, they'll win the division. So there's still a lot to play for. But the elephant in the room is the Lions have to win 3 straight. And obviously as a Lions fan, that's what we hope for. but they haven't been able to do it lately. We'll see if they can pull that off. So a lot to look for in that scenario. All right, we talked about the Red Wings. They take on the Washington Capitals this afternoon in the first of a Detroit doubleheader. Well, last night they won a big game, or yesterday afternoon, as they took on the Washington Capitals, and they won by the score of 5-2. Jumped out to a 4-1 lead after 2 periods of play. Strong play in net by Gibson. He's won his 7th straight. The Red Wings are still in first place in the Atlantic Division of the National Hockey League in the Eastern Conference. They got a 1-point lead over the Canadiens, so keeping that lead, Bill. So today they go back and play at home in the second of a back-to-back against the Capitals. 1 o'clock puck drop at Little Caesars Arena. We talked about it. The dream Detroit sports fan scenario. Go to the Red Wings game at Little Caesars Arena at 1 o'clock against the Capitals. Game gets over approximately 3:30 or so. Then you make about the 15-minute walk over to Ford Field, get in time for the kickoff with the Lions and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would be so much fun. And again, if you're in Detroit, go to SeatGeek. Use the promo code Captain Lou. There's tickets available for both games. Little shameless plug there, as both teams, both the Lions and the Red Wings, with a lot to play for still. The Lions, of course, in desperation mode, really. Their playoff season starts today. So, all right. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to give you Presley's parlays and more right here on the Captain Lou, or on the Extravagant Few Minutes here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here. Hey, is there a ball game you want to go to last minute? How about the Spartans at Spartan Stadium? Go to the Big House to watch the Wolverines. Is there an NFL game you want to go to? Lambeau Field, Ford Field, wherever, Baltimore. How about the Tigers for the pennant drive? Well, go to SeatGeek. Get those tickets there. Use the promo code Captain Lou right on the screen, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. So go to the Spartan game. Go to the Big House. But use the promo code Captain Lou at SeatGeek, and you'll be all set. Indeed, you will. So again, all kinds of great seats available for all the games today. We got the Jaguars taking on the Denver Broncos in Denver. That could be a playoff preview this afternoon. And of course, Carolina hosting Tampa Bay for first place in the NFC South. Both teams at 7-7. So who would have thought Carolina would be in a position to potentially get a playoff spot? This is a huge game for those two teams as well. So go to SeatGeek, use the promo code Captain Lou, and you'll get $20 off of your purchase. It's that simple. All right, we went 1-1 yesterday on our picks. Our teaser parlay hit thanks to that overtime comeback by the Bears. Our natural parlay didn't, so we broke even, Presley and I. So no dog biscuits and no pizza pies yesterday. We've got 3 teaser parlay bets for you here this afternoon. Let's get right into them. Teaser parlay number 1, Buffalo. It's a 10-point teaser parlay. Knock it down to a -0.5 point at Cleveland. That means they're going to win money line. New Orleans, make them a 3.5-point dog at home against the New York Jets. And Carolina, +13 at home against Tampa Bay. Right now, they're a 3-point dog at home against the Buccaneers. Presley's parlay number 2. How about taking Denver, now getting 6.5 points on the 10-point teaser at home against Jacksonville. Arizona getting 13 points at home versus Atlanta. And then go over 27.5 Houston against Las Vegas. And then we've got one more for you, a monster parlay, 13-point teaser. Kansas City will get 10.5 at Tennessee. Carolina getting 16.5 against Tampa Bay. Arizona getting 16 against Atlanta at home. And over 24, Vegas against Houston. That is a -140 teaser. All right. Finally, here this afternoon, a couple of things. Again, how about the biggest dynasty in all of college sports right now? That being the Ferris State Bulldogs. Yesterday in McKinney, Texas, they won their 4th national championship in 5 years in Division II. A 42-21 win over Harding, previously undefeated Harding. You got to love the Bulldogs. Tony Annese really building one heck of a dynasty there in Big Rapids, Michigan. A huge, huge win again for them. All they do is win. And they won going away again yesterday, 42-21. So congratulations to the Ferris State Bulldogs. a dynasty in men's college and men's sports, women's sports as well, college sports in general. Their 4th national championship in 5 years in Division II in football. Congratulations to Coach Anise and the Ferris State Bulldogs. All right, that's going to do it. But again, a reminder, today's a big game for the Lions. The Lions, their playoff season starts today with their game against Pittsburgh. They've got to win out, first starting against the Steelers at 4:25, and then they're going to need some help. They need the Bears to lose next week at San Francisco, or the Packers to lose against either the Ravens or the Vikings. If both teams lose and the Lions win out, that means the Lions win the division. But again, before all that comes into play, the Lions have to take care of business. They've got to win out. Their playoff season starts this afternoon at 4:25 against their old nemesis, Aaron Rodgers, this time wearing the gold and black of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a must-win for the Lions. The playoffs start today. All right, that's going to do it for another edition of the Captain Lou, or the Extravagant Few Minutes right here on the Captain Lou Sports Network. I want to thank everybody for welcoming us into their homes, on your computers, on your laptops. However you watched us around the world, we say thank you and enjoy the games here this afternoon and tonight. All right, that's going to do it. We'll see you tomorrow for another edition of the Captain Lou's, or the Extravagant Few Minutes. Until then, Captain Lou saying keep your heads up, keep your sticks down, keep your feet moving, and as always, keep your minds open. So long.